Welcome to One Wheel Wednesday. My name is Scot Mendenhall. It is a frigid one here in Minnesota today. If you live somewhere else in the wonderful world, you're missing out on a great blizzard that's hitting Minnesota from the Twin Cities all the way up to Duluth. It's been a magical, very Christmassy feeling vibe going around here. We have my wife who's bundled up. She's wearing a Viking jacket. She's wearing a stocking cap to my right-hand side here because she's saying it's so cold.
So cold. Welcome to Minnesota, Skull Vikings.
Yeah, would you be saying that if they would have won or not won this past?
I would be saying that because I love my Vikings. I probably wouldn't brag as much, but
they're about to attack
eat her. That voice that you hear in the background is not just God speaking.
It's the one and only.
It is Lily Wiener.
Hey, happy Wednesday.
Did you like how I said not only is it the voice of God, it's referring to your voice could be the sounding of like God, but that's not a true statement.
No, we got a whole lot going on there.
Hey, can you check my shot again? Is my poinsettia better?
It's a lot.
It did. It looked like you were being engulfed by that. It's like, had a good Christmas vibe. Yeah, there's a lot of red going on over there. Clashes with the purple.
Well, that's why. No, nothing clashes with purple and gold.
Oh,
nothing. Okay. It's like what do they call it? It's like black goes with everything, so does purple and gold.
Really? That's what they say. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to talk about a lot of things today on this podcast. Some random facts, some random things that aren't even facts. We'll just make them up on the spot. But we are going to cover, how do you ride your one wheel in snow and rain? Is that even a possibility? Are they waterproof? Some say one wheels are 100% waterproof from the factory. Some say you got to go to badger.com and get the kit to waterproof all said one wheels. There are camps in this topic, and we're going to talk about those things. We're going to bring in a special guest today. Brooks is his name. The dude is a rock star. I can't wait to introduce him. When we first met him on this podcast, I don't know, 2 months ago, we had not formally met this guy. We had no idea really who he was outside he was doing the windmill race, and now doing our research on this man.
Yeah, I was going to say we had no idea.
What a legend.
He's a beast.
What a stinking legend.
He will try anything.
We'll get to it. But let's ask a few things. Lily.
Yes.
How's the Christmas shopping for you? Are you done?
I'm done. Something just came in the mail yesterday that we might need a show on. Never mind. I'll say no more because I'll give it away. But y'all might like to see it. I don't know. What? After it's given as your Christmas gift. So, yeah, I'm done with my shopping. Holly, are you done with your shopping?
I'm done. I've been done for a little while.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
have you been done for a little while?
For my husband. The kids we did yesterday.
I was going to say you were out all day yesterday. You've been done for hours. Are you done now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, I went elfing yesterday, and I wore the fake ears and everything.
Everything.
You did not wear the fake ears. You're full of it. Okay. The winter storm has here in Minnesota at least delayed some of the shipping items that we were hoping to get here. It will be interesting. Trying to talk to different places. We want to talk freely about what we got coming, especially for our Groms in the house, but that just give away some of the things that we have purchased for our Groms or have been gifted to give to our Groms. So I would like to go back to the fact that Lily was alluding to something that we might want to show here on the channel. What are you talking about, and who's it for?
I can't tell you, and I can't tell you.
I would like to. You started the conversation. I believe we have a rule here. It's an unspoken rule, but
Brooks would know, but he's not gonna. If he thinks hard enough, because
it is an unspoken rule around here, right? It's always been since the beginning of our relationship that once you start a conversation, you have to finish it. There's no starting a conversation and then pausing, right, Holly?
No,
It's an unspoken rule.
He knows it's not for her.
I do know. I am going to take a big guess that it's not for me.
Scott, you already know what I got for Holly.
I am curious at what it is.
Yeah, well,
we'll show you guys in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I won't be here next week. I don't know if we'll be here, but I won't be here.
No, it's holiday week. We're shutting it down.
Okay.
No, we're shutting it down. No videos.
I was trying to figure out how to ship my GT out west where I'm going because it's going to be warm out there.
Ooh, that'd be a lot of fun. Which, for a side note, for all those that are anti-stock stuff on, Lily had a slick on, chased down a stock treaded.
I just told them that
and asked
in the
me
chat.
to put it on.
I just told them that. Thank you for putting it on.
Yeah, she tracked down Nick, who was third place at the Windmin race. Mm-hmm. He was gracious enough to give his stock tire to Lily, a treaded tire. We put that on with some rim savers, and Wouldn't you know? Cat's meow is happening on that thing.
What does that mean?
What do you think it means? What would it mean when I say it's the cat's meow?
It's like the cream of the crop.
Yeah, the cat's only
Yeah,
meow
it looks
when it's
real
like
good. It's ready to be ridden.
Ready to be mobbed. Okay.
I need like 30 degrees.
30 degrees. Okay.
Because right now it's like
Negative
0.
5, something of that nature.
It's actually incredibly beautiful outside.
It is. Okay, we got Brooks in the background, but let's give him an introduction this man deserves. Let's see if we can top the last introduction now that we know this man. This man, we said, is a legend amongst the Onewheel community. If you don't know Brooks, you are in for it today. You're going to enjoy this conversation. Who knows where it's going to take us, because he not only can mob any terrain. We're talking from the shelliest of shell terrain to the rockiest to the most snowiest terrain. This guy doesn't even just mob them. He builds his own stuff and then mobs it, posts things, and only makes you wish you were there with him, but you don't even know how to get to where he is. He builds stuff in his front yard. He goes to strangers' backyards and mobs.
What?
This guy is not even he is the definition of rock star in the Onewheel community. He not only can mob, he put on one of the best one-wheel races known in the Midwest called the Women Enduro Trail Race. It was epic. Lily finished first in the women's amateur.
Second.
No,
second.
Her trophy is second.
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh,
Like,
man.
way to
Did you
go.
even compete then? Way to go. You got second. First place
No,
loser.
that's
Oh my
awesome.
gosh, you are
but we're not
so
going to
good.
take
Waiting to say
away from
that.
the girl
We're
that got
taking
first.
away from it. I got no hardware here. I got no hardware. I got nothing but I got a bummed ankle out of the thing. And
What?
to add worse to the situation to that ankle, I come out of a trail and I'm in pain. And I will never forget my good friend as he comes on the screen. Brooks compared me with an average one-wheeler. He's like, man, this is what all these other one-wheelers are feeling today, just tired and fatigued. And I was like, Brooks!
There he is.
No, Brooks, I'm injured. He's like, yeah, that's
He's
whatever
got his
all old
Midwest
men
One
say.
Wheel hat on.
He's
Minnesota
always
Duluth
repping.
shirt.
Brooks, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. That's quite the intro. I just said I need that thing as my alarm clock in the morning when I wake
Yeah,
up.
I mean, we can make that,
That would
happen.
actually-
we can make that happen.
That would actually be really cool. Can I please request a custom alarm clock as well?
Your wife would hate
What would
that,
you
I
want
think,
that
Brooks.
to be, Holly?
Yeah.
Well, knowing Scott, it would be like, she's given birth to 8 children. It'd be something like that. But that might get me in the morning.
Brooks,
like,
do you
let's go.
remember? Do you remember? It's on one of our videos where I come out of the last trail for me of the weekend, and you just give me the. Yeah, that's how all these guys that think they can ride are feeling right now. They're just worn out and beat up.
So you were in the camp of guys who think they can ride?
Yeah, he just totally
hilarious.
I felt humbled.
Like
Brooks,
you're
do
just
you
playing
remember
the
that?
part? Like you just look the part?
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can't really ride?
Yeah.
He says he remembers.
Yeah, that last trail got a little bit. Everyone came out of it just sore legs, tired, dead.
Yeah.
I
tough.
can't even still handle you saying that. I just can't. I can't wait to a redemption tour there. I cannot wait. Which Brooks, where do you find your fine self at the moment with a cabiny look in the background?
Yeah, we decided to come up to the cabin a couple days early because of the snow, so we could travel. Hope I'm not cutting out. I see it maybe cutting out a little bit, but don't have great service up here. We're in the heartland of Windman Trails.
Yeah.
The
Beautiful,
dream.
beautiful area up there.
We can hear you great, Brooks. You are a little choppy, but hopefully people, it's a podcast, so we're looking for your voice anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would be good to see you as well. But nonetheless, you sound great on our end. Like Brooks said, there's a big old snowstorm hitting here and cold weather and high winds and all that. It's crazy. It just adds to the season. As we mentioned, Brooks, I didn't know this the first time we met Brooks, but the dude could ride. I thought he was passionate for sure. I did not know the caliber of rider he was. I roll into women, and his name's in the pro category. And what place did you finish in the women race in the pros?
I finished 4th, right behind good buddy Nick, who you just mentioned, who's a very fast and progressive rider as well. So
Yeah, he's up and coming for sure. I think did he not win at Dirt Surfers last year in the amateur class, or really close to it, right?
He did, and that's why he entered the pro category, because he had won an amateur race before.
Yeah, that's what we keep trying to say. Legend, who competed the first time at Windman, where you kind of made a house rule that, hey, you can't just go get being pro. You got to win amateur or have a series of first, thirds, and seconds for quite a bit before you just get a pop up into the pro line. I think pros should have to earn a little bit of that at this point in the race, like as it's developed. Right, early on, there wasn't any of those things. It was just show up. But now, the pros are pros, and they need to be
Pros.
Yeah, right.
It's the same in CrossFit.
What are your thoughts on that?
You gotta earn it.
Brooks?
I think he gets the pros. Imagine just stepping in as a nobody, not even win an amateur race, and then place in the pro division. That'd be awesome.
Oh,
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
But what other like I compete in Ironman and marathons, and you gotta earn your way into some of those things. And so I'm a bit of an old school guy saying, nah, lad, you got to earn it, buddy. Earn it. Every time I say that, Lily, what do you finish off?
Send it.
Earn it, send it.
Oh my gosh. Send it.
that makes me feel
Yeah,
good. I
that's
feel like
totally
Ledge
set
could do it.
He's got a GT now.
He's ready, Brooks.
He's
I
ready.
saw that. That's exciting. Both really got one delivered last week, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's very exciting around here. It's exciting.
And we've gone down and rode dirt surfers a couple weeks ago with Nick and Rachel. That was so much fun. So
I saw that. Great people.
Yes. So you've been putting out some mad content. I want to talk about this launch ramp. That's at least what I'm calling it, that you built in the front yard. Here's an image for those at home that have not seen this. This is put on his Instagram account. He just shows this footage, and it's like your jaw's gonna drop. Here you go. This is Brooks mobbing in his front yard a snow launch ramp. If our kid, they're trying to find the video as we speak. It's in there. They're struggling to find it. I believe it's called Snow Launch Ramp. There it is.
Oh my gosh.
If we can make that go full, like just put that up there so everybody gets the whole thing, because that's from his Instagram account. So it is a little bit. There we go.
So is this outside of your house or like whereabouts are we here?
That's my new lawn ornament. My wife loves it. She loves that.
Hit that again.
Yeah, just like
body.
don't stop
Yeah.
playing it.
Okay, so is that in the backyard, front yard? Where does this exist?
It looks like the driveway.
Yeah, that's in the front of my house. So we got all that snow and that heavy wet snow, so it didn't take much to build it. I just basically took all the snow from the driveway and blew it into a pile. And
That's so awesome, Brooks.
Yeah,
Wait, you just blew all that like with a snowblower?
yeah, for the most part, just built up a pile. And then my buddy John Newer, who's in the chat there,
John.
he was there with me. Yeah, and so he helped me build it and was there. He tried his hand at it a couple times.
How did he do?
And he bailed.
I would
bail too. I don't even think
I
I would try it.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, that trust him for trying it because that's not an easy one, and he's a newer rider. So the fact that he even get on top of that thing and go off the edge is pretty cool.
That's so fun.
Okay, so it's hard to tell how big it was, Brooks. What's the height of the lip on the launch ramp?
Yeah, it's about 5 feet tall.
Wow.
And you clear about a 6-foot gap to the landing.
That's wild. Is it still there, or have you gotten rid of it?
Oh no, it's gonna be there all year. I'll probably make it bigger or make a second one.
That's so awesome.
That's wild. That is so cool.
We'll have to come try it.
Yeah, I'll come film it for you. I'll lay underneath the launch ramp and film you underneath. That's
yeah,
what
I was thinking about. If I built it at the end of the driveway, I could probably launch a car close to it.
That would be awesome. Even if you tapped the car, like you'd want a car that in case you scratched it or something, right? But that would be a cool shot. You come up onto the car and go across it. That'd be really cool. Like somebody needs to be snapping pictures of that. That's gonna be.
Dominic says he's still working on curb drops. I'm still trying to activate the one wheel, Dominic.
And here's Brooks.
And here's Brooks flying.
5-foot launch ramp out of snow.
Practice.
Okay. So somebody asked, I saw it and I didn't know if you may have answered the comment. So did you groom it, or is it just you're riding OneWheels up and down it and it's packing that in like that?
Yeah, so it was that nice heavy wet snow, which
Yep.
helps because you want it to freeze overnight. So we went and groomed it and basically, manicured the ramp part of it and packed in snow and made sure we built it up high enough so it wasn't just like a straight run up to the ramp. So it was more flat, you could get speed. And we just basically built it and then used a shovel to kind of build that little runway and then let it freeze overnight for a couple days, and cold weather helped out and it set up really good. The first time I hit it, we also built like a landing ramp. So so it wasn't just flat ground. So that was the biggest worry, was like, if you land and you push through the snow or ice, you're obviously tires going to get stuck. So
Yeah, you're going to keep moving forward.
That's sweet.
That is tremendous. Like, let's see that one more time because I just can't get enough of it. When I saw it, I showed it to everyone in the house because I was just like, this is tremendous. Like, you're in there in your new hoodie as well, and you're just mobbing right at golden hour, it looks like. I mean...
Well, Joe and I went and tried to ride some trail, which was freshly groomed, but in the evening it was a little overused and it wasn't really great for OneWheels at the time. So we actually backed out of trail riding and then just came back to my house and hit the jump a few times.
Had a little sesh in the driveway of a launch. Yes. Well done.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you're away from home a lot, and so if you have a ramp in your front yard, you get to be home more.
Yeah.
And still ride. As you have trails all over.
Yeah, that's why we have it built in
why
our
we do
property,
it,
so we can stay here and I think at least for us, we ride a lot more, especially with a lot of kids. It's tough to justify me in this season of life just to go and do something for myself all the time. Like occasionally, yes, but to have it in the backyard, you can just go mob and you cut out if it's a 10-minute drive to the local trail system or whatever it is, I've just saved 20 minutes and I get a ride. So we actually we're inspired from the Windman race. We're going to make a couple pro lines now that we saw some of those features up there that you had pros do. We've already talked about with the Silvas we talked about. Austin's going to come help us potentially if he can get here in the spring. And we're going to bring in boulders and make some really technical pieces so like our grounds can train.
That'll be fun.
And things like that. So you've inspired a bunch around here, Brooks. So thank you.
I'll be waiting for that snow jump soon in the yard.
Yeah. We actually right now have I made a toboggan run, but it's more like a water slide. I've pushed snow on two sides, so you go down this hill and you're going left and right trying to stay inside the bobsled chute, and then you just crest over like this little spot. You think the ride's over, and then all of a sudden it's like the mega death fall.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, one last year went down that death fall and they lacerated their artery. Their what's the main artery? Aorta.
I mean, we don't know for sure.
They're claiming it. I mean, that's what the MRI came
that
back.
it was
now.
that it was from the sledding hill?
Yeah, where they hit
didn't know
the
that?
tree.
I didn't know that.
They're
Yeah.
wondering if that's what it's from. Which
Yeah.
I was on the sled with them, so I was like, "Oh my gosh, if that was actually what happened, I would feel
That
so
breaks
bad."
my heart. I didn't know that.
It doesn't break my heart at all.
We don't know if that's actually what it's from.
Around here, you step foot on our property, just understand, you enter it at your own risk. There's children, dogs, and features that could hurt you.
You could. Brooks, he could make a big thing for OneWheels out there.
With this amount of snow coming, we got 17 inches I think we're supposed to be getting down here or something like that.
Yes, please.
I could be pushing. But my issue I have really in understanding how fully you made that is our OneWheels getting enough traction like to make it groomed. So you've got to have some tricks that we would love to
I'll ride my bike on it.
to get some, like, how are you gaining so much traction where the wheel's not spinning out or you're not nose diving because the wheel sinks too far into the snow?
Yeah. So I'm used to riding. Well, in Duluth, we have a mecca of outdoor enthusiasts. So it really does take a community to make the trails really nice. So you get people that are mountain biking, walking, snowshoeing, skiing, and all that compaction helps make a nice hard surface. And then we have a ton of volunteers that basically take snowmobiles out with a grooming. Usually it's a tire behind the snowmobile, and that makes the trails nice and compact and groomed. And it really turns any trail into a flow trail after there's enough snow.
It really does.
And so just the use of everybody being out there is what kind of makes it possible, and which is why Duluth's so great to ride, plus the cold temperatures, of course. But really, for this to do it yourself, build up a pile of snow, groom out a little runway, and then take some water and just, make it icy. And then it should compact nice and hard for you. You don't necessarily need a studded tire or anything to do that. I do ride with some studs in a tire, but, it's a little more dangerous too, because if that studded tire hits your legs, you're getting tore up pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
what?
I never thought about
you're
that.
in this shot here. You're on a GT, but a second ago you were on the studded tire XR, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
So that's Joe in the chat, Don Newer. That's his board. And we've been doing a lot of riding together, so it's been fun to hop on the GT and, kind of compare the two. He does have the same tire as me now, and he's got studs on the way, so he'll have the exact same tire setup as I'm riding, but with the GT. So it should be a beast at that point.
Okay, some are asking when we've talked about the studded tires. I've done that before, but I did it the cheap man version. I took an old tire on the XR and I put screws into it, and then I just cut the screws off, which made them very sharp. But it worked. It's somewhere on our YouTube channel where we did it, and we rode on. It was one of the years where we got ice, or the ice froze on the lakes before we got snow, and so I just wanted to bomb across the lake. And so I did that, and it was awesome, but it's super dangerous, and my hands always were getting cut because I'd grab it. And so how do you, with the studded tires that you have, what's the process of doing that? Is it a kit you're purchasing, or are you doing what I did, some kind of hack?
Yeah, it's there's a couple of things I do. So when you add studs to your tire, it's going to make the tire bigger, essentially, right? So you have to give yourself more room between the boxes. So you don't want that tire to hit either your controller box or battery box, right? So
Yeah.
I put a lift kit on my board, which gives you more room between the boxes, and then you can add in studs. I also ride a 5.5-inch tire to give you more room between the boxes as well. And so
Genius.
I just do that, and then I purchase iGrip studs. That's the company, iGrip. And then they're the lowest protruding ones, so they don't stick out too far, but they give you plenty of traction. And I only have like 50 studs in my tire. You can put up to easily 100 studs. But I like to be able to kind of drift and still feel that slipperiness from time to time. But it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, you can hear it when you watch the videos that we're showing here without the audio, but if they go to Carve Creative's YouTube channel, that's where we found those videos. You can hear it sounds different. The studs just run a little bit different in there. So if somebody is listening, they'll know there's a difference. I don't recall seeing a close-up. Maybe one of the very first this year you showed the close-up of the studs. Now, are you putting maybe I missed where you say, do you put tire sealant in the tire once you put those studs in there to make sure if you accidentally punctured it too far?
Yeah, yep. So I use armadillos as my tire sealant, and it usually holds up pretty well. The noise you're hearing on that video actually isn't the studs. That tire has a bunch of little rubber strings that are still protruding since it's so new. So that's actually the rubber little things that stick out.
Yeah.
Kind of annoying, but it actually helps for traction too. So I haven't cut them.
Yeah, and why in snow, like if you were on pavement a lot, they eventually just wear off pretty fast. But
they probably
Exactly,
don't
yep.
as fast. Yeah.
yeah, on snow it doesn't wear. Now do you? And we'll probably come back to the studs and all that kind of. Now, are you a guy that badgers your OneWheels? Like, and for those that don't know, that's where you buy a product that helps you waterproof or seal your OneWheels. Do you do that, or are you just riding it the way it came from the factory?
Yeah, definitely recommend waterproofing the board. There's a couple things that I do to help maintain it. When you to waterproof it, I actually do it kind of the cheap way. I just buy a windshield silicone from Amazon, which is like $5, and you put that silicone around the box, and just like if you watch Badger's YouTube video on how to do it, and then just some liquid silicone, you put that in the plug ports, and you're good to go for the most part. If you're not too well versed on it, definitely buy Badger's kit or
Yeah.
one of the OneWheel parts I do.
Yeah, and they walk you through, like you said, on badgerwheel.com. They walk you through on how to do it. It seems very simple. Now, I'm a guy, in the other camp. I've never waterproofed anything. and I have rode in torrential downpours. I've rode on the beach in Florida and a wave crashed over my one wheel and not waterproofed. I've rode in all of the snow, and still to this day, gone through Pint X, XRs, and GTs. Gone through, meaning I've rode them all in these things and never had one problem. Either I'm really lucky.
You take, like, afterwards, you let them, right? Don't you do something after you come in, and knowing you just ran through major puddles and stuff?
Yes, I think there's, and I think, Brooks, you would say the same. When you bring them in, there's just like, hey, some things you just, hey, don't go quickly and plug them into the wall. Let them dry out a little bit. That's not a bad plan. That's some of the things I do. But I've just been fortunate. I think they're more waterproof. Maybe waterproof's a little strong. I would hate for somebody to say, here's the deal. If you want my advice, do what Brooks is doing, because I don't want to be held responsible for your one wheel not working.
Good call.
Yeah, there's a couple things I do, and yeah, definitely check out our channel, Carve Creative. Hit that up, give us a subscribe. We put out a ton of content. There is a waterproofing video on there, all sorts of how-to videos. But when you're done riding, so before riding, I never keep my one wheel in a garage or cold situation. Right. I want to make sure it's, temperature-wise it's good, because otherwise you're not going to turn on. And then the second I'm done riding, I basically let it drip dry, or I'll take the bumpers and pads off and get it dried up. And then I won't charge my board until the day before I ride again, in case any moisture did get inside the boxes, or, just preventing as much as I can from happening. So I'll just wait. So if I'm not riding for, a week, I'll just let it sit uncharged for a week, charge it before I ride.
Yep. I was going to say that no matter what you do, if you do the Badger, the waterproofing, is that what it's called? Yeah. Mm-hmm. No matter what, there's still other things you should probably do with it so that it dries out a little bit, and you're not ever going to want to make that mistake.
No, because I do think that voids for sure. I think if you do that, it voids a warranty real fast. And it's like, even if I waterproofed it, I still do all the things I do, tilting it on the side with the charger port down. Definitely 24 hours before I even think about charging the thing. All those things. Those are just, as you said, Brooks, it's just wise things to do. When you experience, and we'll put the video back up, when you're riding the XR to GT, not many people have gotten a chance to ride the GT in the snow yet. And that GT that your friend's riding, this is not, you're right. Are you riding the mustache rails here?
Yeah, both those setups are mustache rails. So my board has mustache rails with a lift kit on it, the red one you see there.
Yep.
And then the green board is John's. His is just a stock GT with the enduro tire on it right now, or in that video, which isn't the best for snow. And then those are mustache rails as well.
Okay, so did you notice I always see you on the XR in the snow, so that must mean you're not a big fan of the GT in the snow, or you don't want to do all of that setup. Why do you always go to an XR?
Yeah, I like the XR platform for my style of riding. Even in the summer, I prefer my XR because it's just a little better on rocks, roots, jumps, airtime. I'm not a kind of guy that likes to go super fast. I like to go fast, but
but you finished fourth in a race, so you're going plenty fast.
Yeah, but like my top speed of my GT is still only like 21 miles an hour, 22 miles an hour. So it's the same as my XR. I just tend to not push my limits with speed, but push my limits with technical type riding. And so for that, the XR is just a much more comfortable platform for me at this point.
Yeah. With
the GT mustache rail upgrade, shout out Bob and John. If you guys are interested in them, you can check out their website. I think they got more in stock now. But super good upgrade. They help with stability. They help land without that tail hitting a little bit more. So they're definitely an improvement over stock rails, but it's still just not the comfort level that I have on my XR. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing more GT riding here soon with some more tire options coming. Yeah,
FlightFin has a tire option coming. I believe Float Life has got a treaded tire option coming out soon, which would be nice to have, especially for us here in Minnesota. The Enduro tire, that's what I have on the GT at the moment, and the XR. It doesn't do the greatest. I can't say, it would be hard for me to say I think it rides better than a slick. I think it rides just about the same as a slick tire in snow.
Yep.
Because those treads aren't very thick and snow gets packed into there, and all of a sudden you just have a slick with ice on it now, or a small treaded tire with slick. But so you talk about the mustache rails. Are they lowering or hiring your center of gravity on the? Because you talk about having a lift kit with the mustache rails. On your GT, you're just putting a mustache rail on. Is it hiring the back and front foot pad and keeping you at the same height?
So if you ride mustache rails without a lift, they are lower center of gravity, but you still get clearance in both the nose and tail. And it rides pretty low or pretty flat at, like, I still ride Mission on my XR. I don't do any custom settings. So it still rides really nice, that Mission profile that everyone loves. But the reason that I put the lift on originally was on WTF rails last winter for that clearance, right, to fit studs. And I kept that setup in the summer, in the spring this year, and just loved it. It helped a ton. And then throwing that lift on the mustache rails, because they are a shorter frame rail, they are about a 1/4 inch shorter on each end. So throwing the lift on it allows me to put a 6-inch tire on a Prowler, essentially, size rail. That gives you even more clearance. And so I'm a big fan of landing clean. Like, I like clean lands. I like to be able to go over roots and rocks and play around. And having that lift on a shorter frame allows for that without having it be too top heavy. So it's just a super fun setup for style of riding. It's something that I've just come to love. And I would love everyone to try it out, because I think it's the way to have a lot of fun on your XR, especially on trail.
Yeah, I would love to. It's some of the rails that are out there, because you got the lightning rail, the mustache rail. Lily always makes a joke. What do you go on when we start listing these rails?
Lightning, thunder, tigers, bears, oh my.
Yeah, she just.
I just made that up just now.
But
I've never said that.
She always says something different, but it's along those lines.
Yeah, so there are a lot of options out there, but they're expensive. And so it's a bit of a commitment. I would love to try the mustache rails or the lightning rails, but I'm just going, hold on, $400 to try something I don't know if I would genuinely like. It would be great if there's that's what group rides are great for. You can try out people's stuff, and they show up and go, hey, you should try these mustache rails or lightning rails, because it is a bit of a risk. I remember when WTF rails came out, I was like, oh man, I don't know. And I got them, and I fell in love with them. It was like a no-brainer. But you can't constantly. I think there's got to be a place somehow, and I'm just talking out loud here, Brooks. There's got to be a way for, like, these people that are making some really cool third-party pieces of equipment for people to test, because even if I review them, doesn't mean people are going to, it's like, what are they going to do? Take our word for it all the time? And some people do that. But I watch you mob those mustache rails, and I'm like, I got to get me a set. I got to try those. Because,
I've been lucky enough to ride them under, like, a test group. So when Bob and John started creating these things, they saw that my style of riding fit the kind of style that, the rails are meant for. And so they've been generous enough to let me, have a couple sets to try out.
Yeah.
So that's been. The other thing I'll tell you, though, Scott, is if you do purchase rails or purchase anything for a one-wheel aftermarket and you don't like it, you can typically sell it for darn near the same price you bought it for on the used market. So keep that in mind, too. If you don't like something, typically there's someone out there that like that for sure, and we'll probably snag them off you.
Well, that's good. And that's good for other people to hear, because we get asked that a lot, as we do get the privilege to try a lot of things that we don't necessarily ourselves ride. Like, I have, somebody always asks me why on my desk do I just have a tire sitting here that I've not rode. It was sent to us to test out the new Veske treaded tire at one point, and it's the worst treaded tire. And I rode it. I don't even think it has 3 miles on it, and it just sits here. Because I'm like, I can't give it away. It's so bad.
Yeah, you just don't want to
I can't charge somebody for. I'm just like, it's gonna sit there and collect dust, because it's the worst. We actually have video footage of me riding it in the snow last year, because everybody's like, oh, how's the Veske tire handle the snow? And so I went out with my drone, and here's me just taking off, letting it chase me, and I was like, oh man, on pavement, it was like, oh yeah, this is okay. And then I hit the snow, and then it just wanted to do its own thing. It fought me on every turn, and I tried to lower the PSI. It was awful.
What one wheel was that on? I forget.
That's the XR.
Yeah, I remember you coming in and throwing it.
Yeah,
Well, you weren't throwing a fit. You were just like, no, this isn't gonna work.
No, like people are like, I'm always trying, like, again, somebody's gonna love that tire, but for me, it was just such a rough go at it. I was like, nah. It looks great there. You're carving fine, and then I'm going to turn on a road that has snow in it, and it just went downhill. That's how you know it's brand new. Is it's just throwing everything up onto the board. Nonetheless, there's some products that I try that I just cannot even. I just sit around here because it's like, nope, I'm not going to. This might be the shot here where I almost fall off the one wheel. Soon it will be. Like there it was. It's just like, whoa! I hit a little bit of that white powder there, and my one wheel tried to go a direction I wasn't ready. Nonetheless, mustache rails are very compelling to me. I saw that in the chat here. Carve Creative is sitting in here, and I don't know who's running the account today. They're saying that they have a GT studded tire review coming out soon, so make sure you guys go subscribe to their YouTube channel so when they drop that, you will get to learn from that. Have you ever rode the snow sock from Badger Wheel? It's not actually, that's not what they call it. I forget what they call it. I call it the snow sock. Here's the picture of it, Brooks. Have you ever used one of these in the snow?
I haven't. No.
Have you?
They're called sockets. They are supposed to work really well, though, and I think it's what I would want to try on my GT, because if you're not going to put a smaller tire on a GT, studs might not fit between the boxes, but the Soccasin doesn't really take up any room between the box, so that should work pretty good for you GT riders that want to try snow out and have a little more traction.
I'm interested.
It just fits right over the wheel or the tire?
It's pretty slick to
they're
install.
pretty solid.
Yeah.
How do you install it?
Well, the quick version is where you see that rope that's like a bow. It's not stitched all the way down to that, so it allows you to get it over the tire. Once you get it there, you zip tie it closed, and then I believe you take that string and cinch it tight.
Yeah. Okay, is that like a mesh on it? Like, I'm curious to know what that's made out of.
I've never seen one in person.
Or is it like kind of like a knight's armor, like metally chained?
I don't think
That'd be awesome.
I do think it's
Is
some
it
kind
mesh or is it knight's armor?
Knight's armor.
Those are the two options from the ladies.
That's
Mesh or
right.
knight's
Mesh,
armor?
knight's armor.
I'm gonna go
Unbelievable.
with a modern knight's mesh armor. It is made from. I'm just gonna make a lot of things up.
Yeah.
Lions, tigers,
No.
bears.
No.
Our local dealer uses a Soccasin daily, says Eli in Anchorage, Alaska.
Is this a new? Is this a new product? Is just
No, it's been out for a
it's been out
couple
a while?
years. It's a pretty slick. I think it's a good solution if you're not going to do what Brooke's doing. Some people are going to be terrified of messing around with poking holes into a tire, especially if they don't know how to change a tire and things of that nature. This is a great solution. I also saw this, Brooks. Have you seen people using Velcro? Have you seen the video? It just popped up on YouTube.
Like one side of Velcro?
Yeah, have you seen this, Brooks?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd advise it. It looks like you'd work just as well without Velcro.
What?
Yeah, so like you guys, if you want to check it out, it is on YouTube. I think the last 2 days was dropped. It's Custodian of Earth is the YouTube channel. And then just look up updated one wheel winter hack to shred snow in 2023 exclamation point. It is a long title.
Wait, but like, does it work for them?
Well, in the video, it appears to, but you know how it is in video. They end up doing some modifications on how they had the Velcro around the tire. I did not fully watch the video to understand how I think they're just using the adhesive that would stick to it. I could see that not doing a long-term sticking to the tire because it gets cold and wet. But I think, I don't know. I have thoughts on it, but I've not done it, so I can't knock it. It seems like they were doing quite well in that.
Try it.
Did you see them riding with that on there?
Yes, they were riding in the video, but these are 3 options. The pros are doing what Brooke's doing, right, Brooks? That's what you'd say? Pros are doing what you're doing?
I don't know. I mean,
Come on, Brooks.
I think that the way I look at it is I follow a lot of mountain bike pages, right? And what are the fat bikers doing? They're not putting Velcro on their tires. They're not putting Sockasins on their tires. They're putting studs on their bike tires. So there's obviously that community's been riding snow trails for a long time. And so I kind of just followed suit with that.
That's a
I didn't
good point.
about Soccasin or anything.
And that's a little bit of a similar mindset. Like, hey, regardless of the weather, we want to be out there.
We want to be out there. Yeah. I mean, that's with us, with our One Wheels around here. We don't have as good as groomed trails as you do in Duluth. We have mountain bike courses, but they're not groomed like we're seeing your videos of. So it's not as conducive to get your One Wheels in there. But definitely when we mob in the snow as much as we can around here, it's very fun. Some of my favorite times to ride, like right now, if I wasn't here, I would probably be in the middle of the street right now riding my One Wheel, because the One Wheel's so quiet and you can just enjoy the snowfall and nobody's in the street. It's magical. I don't even know how else to say it. It's magical.
Kip says that the Velcro looks like a float wheel product. It makes me laugh.
What were you saying there, Brooks?
They do groom a couple of the trails in your area. I know they groom Excel, Theo Worth. There's a few that get groomed and rode quite a bit down there, as long as the weather stays cold enough is the big thing. The best time to ride is like sunrise when it's really cold. And you got that, like if the snow's crunchy, it's good to ride.
Yeah, well, right now it ain't crunchy snow. It's very light and fluffy snow. So
take a bit.
Yeah, you're just gonna get stuck. You're gonna nosedive. Okay, let's change subjects here, Brooke, to a little bit more of the not so fun things One Wheels had to deal with the last couple months, which would be the government writing a recall for One Wheels. What's your take on that, with the CPSC writing what they said about all One Wheels should be returned back to One Wheel? What's your take on it?
Yeah, I don't have too strong of a standpoint, because One Wheel for me is my freedom, and I don't think anyone's really going to take that away. And with all the third-party options, the new float wheels and all this stuff coming out, the Veske, like, you know, if FM fails at this point, if they have to recall their product, there's going to be other options for me to still enjoy my, one-wheeling freedom. With that being said, obviously it's a threat to what we love, and, any threat to what we love to do and what, our escape is, a bit concerning, especially for the majority of the population that, would never really Veske a board or try something else. Or, so yeah, it's a little concerning, but, I'm hopeful it just kind of breezes over and kind of goes from there. I know a few dealerships, a few people that sell One Wheels, some big ones in Michigan, they've actually been told by, lawyers to pull their stock for now. They're not sure, they're just aware of what's going on. They're not too sure if it's going to be okay. They don't want to get sued for selling a One Wheel as a third-party vendor. So I'm not really sure what is going to come with it, but it's definitely a little concerning.
Yeah, I've through either videos or just talking to other people, that's where I've heard at the moment that dealers potentially could be held liable, since the issue, right, was made by the government that there should be a recall. Prior to that, no. But afterwards, if you sold it knowing there was a recall and an individual gets hurt, they can come at you, which that's a bit risky. I've seen I've spoken to a few people that are dealers and sell it, and they are having people, I don't know if this actually is legit, it works or not, but they're having people sign a document saying, I understand there is a recall and I will not hold this place liable if I get hurt. I don't know if that's a workaround. Yeah, you think?
Yeah,
but who knows?
Smart. My biggest concern with the whole thing is the people that don't understand One Wheels, like, people that run mountain bike trails, for example. They all of a sudden see that these things are labeled dangerous by a government entity. Mm-hmm. And, is that going to threaten our access to trail use, is my biggest concern. So that's kind of, I think, where the focus should really be put, is educating, the folks that use or maintain the trails, or, people that are in charge of allowing One Wheels to operate in certain spots. I think that's the biggest threat for my personal use of a One Wheel, not necessarily buying and selling them.
Yeah, Carve Creative released that video a couple weeks ago where I forget the two that were in the video, but they were mobbing, and at the end of the video, it shows somebody going, "Hey, you can't ride those when we here; they're not allowed anymore." And you're just like, "Is that the beginning of the end?"
Yeah. They've been allowed to ride on. They've gone to maintenance days. They've talked to some of the folks out there and have been accepting of them. And then, it's kind of odd that, a couple days after that comes out, all of a sudden someone's telling them not to ride. And, it's not posted anywhere yet. I don't know if we've really heard much, about it. That was Kyle and Zach who had that interaction.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think they'll be reporting on it and kind of, they're definitely working with the people in that area to try to start conversation and see what comes of it. But yeah, when one trail system starts, not allowing it, and all of a sudden that can have an effect. And luckily we have a lot of good trail systems in the Midwest that are, very open to it. OneWheels essentially fit the mission statement of any trail system out there, which is to get people outside, to get youth, interacting outside, moving their bodies. And so OneWheel fits into that really well. So as long as we can, prove to people and help them understand what they're all about, shouldn't be any issue.
And at the end of the day, honestly, as long as the one-wheeler is riding respectfully in the trail systems, our big old tires are actually grooming those trails really nice. We're not grooving them as a mountain bike tire would.
Especially in the snow.
Snow, all of that.
A lot of people reach out to me like, "Hey, I saw your tracks out there. I'm happy you were riding. You cleared some ruts out." Or, a lot of trail maintenance guys love it because it's packing in good trail. I know up at Windman Trails, Isaac, when he opens a new trail, he usually lets us go first. He wants us to compact that thing with our wide tire
awesome.
Before mountain bikers get in their tires and tear it up. So typically it works harmony really well.
It does. I agree. No, you always have somebody or a group of, in whatever genre of sport you're in, that it's, one bad apple does not ruin the bunch. And so I've always just tried to keep telling people, hey, if you're going to be out there riding in public, be respectful, because you're either taking the brand in a good direction or a bad direction, and you're part of that. So anybody out there mobbing in trail systems and things, just be respectful. Like, if mountain bikers are behind you, let them go. There's no reason to get them frustrated. Just step off your one wheel, and they were there first, in a sense. It's like, man, we always play nice. I see a longevity for the sport in those things. Okay, you talk about Veske and you talk about the float wheel. Now? Do you have a Veske board? Are you going to get a Veske board?
I'm going to, yeah. I'll probably make that switch this spring and try it out a little bit.
Okay. Now, have you rode a Veske board, or will this be your first attempt?
I've luckily had the pleasure of hopping on Nico's board. He's the king of Veske and has really been doing a lot to help. And there's a bunch of people in the community that are behind it, a lot of really smart minds. My mind isn't smart enough for programming and whatnot. I basically want my board with more power and torque. Like, I want Mission lifted on a mustache rail with just more torque and power to get up hills, essentially. So as long as that can be achieved through Veske, I'm definitely interested in making the switch. I'd also be interested in just a different plug and play battery that, potentially could offer that more power too.
Yep. One of the things I'm kind of in the same boat as you with the Veske. I'm not like Nico, who loves to just tweak things. And he was the other day when we had him on the podcast, he was making a remote to lift. And I was like, no, I don't want that. Like, that's awesome. Unless somebody just hands it to me and goes, here you go. I don't want to sit down in front of a computer and mess with things like that. I just want to hop on my board and just go. And so I feel like
what you ride and, tailor your riding to that is, for most people, plenty. But when you get into, Nico's brain, and if you can connect your brain with, your skills and your abilities to enhance that, then I think that's awesome.
Yes, I'm all for it. In our interview with Nico, taught us a lot on the Veske side of things. I really want to Veske my growler. And the growler is out of a V2. And so to Veske that would be a massive upgrade, because all of a sudden I would be able to put a bigger battery in there. It'd be a lot of fun. So that is my New Year's plan, is to Veske that and put the new Enduro tire on there and have a really, I think, fun board that is it just keeps the ride going, right? Like, man, shoot, if it's riding further and faster than the other boards, that might be the go-to board. So,
the big thing with being able to posi the front pad, and so you can not worry about your pad disengaging, especially on jumps and tricks. It's no fun trying to trick 10 times, landing it perfectly just to have your sensor fail, right? And so for trick riders, I think Veske is definitely the way. I do like to do some tricks every now and then. It's definitely a different feel. Like, you can't roll the board over on its edge. It really maintains like a nice level profile. There's a lot of cool things and benefits that are definitely coming. Are you not getting a float wheel, Scott?
No. One, I'm not going to mess with cryptocurrency. Isn't that the only way you can do a down payment right now? No.
Sketchy written all over it.
No, here's my, Veske, I don't feel has done this, where I feel like the float wheel is putting down one wheel to make you like their board better in a sense. And it's like, man, don't tell me that you just re-engineered a board. What did you do that you could
to make it its own?
Yeah, make it its own. Because all they do is like, oh, our foot pad is better of this reason or this and that. And it's like, Veske doesn't do that. Veske is just coming along going, hey, you can program this to your liking. We've just open sourced it. Really, they've unlocked a whole bunch of things. I don't know anyone from the float wheel company, so I'm sure they're wonderful people. It's just, I feel, I wish, I don't know how, I'm not trying to offend or put anybody down or anything. I just wish that companies would tell me why I should love their stuff and not try to tell me I should hate that company and like us. That's what I feel like they're doing. Hate OneWheel. If you hate them, you're going to love us. And it's like, I just can't.
I think early on when we first heard about the Veske, I was kind of like, what are they trying to compete? Which is fine to compete, but I didn't understand it. And then when we had Nico and he explained, people are taking their boards or whatever and doing these preferences, and it is kind of cool because it allows them to have a different thing. So I think that's a really good thought of what you're saying. Is I thought at first it was just trying to, smash one wheel or whatever, but it's not at all. Nico is the most positive person I think that we've gotten to talk to, and man, that guy knows his stuff. So he was really knowledgeable, not just in oh, I like it, it's my own opinion, but the actual terms and knows. He's pretty intelligent when it comes to all of that. He could explain all of it. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
What are your thoughts on that float? Oh, sorry, go Lil.
Someone wants to know, what if Float Wheel sends you a free board? What are we doing then? What's the plan?
If they were to send us one to say, hey, I would definitely make a video on it.
Oh, for sure.
And then I would probably give it away.
Unless it's really bad, then you don't give it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, again, because we create things here and we try things out in that hemisphere of OneWheels, we would definitely give our opinion on it and go, oh, wow, this is mind-blowing. It is better in all facets. Doesn't mean I still can't say I don't approve of their marketing play. And so I've not rode the device. It's just the way they're choosing to market it. I just wish it wasn't about, if you hate OneWheel, you'll love us. What are your thoughts on all that, Brooke?
Yeah, I think that I look at it kind of as a realist. If it's going to potentially push the board sport even further than it already is without causing issues, ripping people off, and being a sketchy product, then I think that's great, right? But the way they've done things, like you said, I think is a little odd. They're kind of asking the wrong people in the community to review it, I believe. And so I think we actually might have one coming at some point for the Carve Creative channel to review it. Does that mean we'll be writing it after the fact? Time will tell, right? With CPSC, looming, and FM not really playing nice with them, it's hard to say what will be available in 2 years. So if there's another option that might keep us on a board and progressing the sport, then that's great. I think Veske is definitely my choice over the stock XRs or GTs. That float wheel would probably be my third option, and that's if it even works, right? If it's legit.
Right. Yeah, I think there's, for me, I've not seen one in the wild yet. I've heard of people putting deposits down and all those things for it. But again, I would feel more comfortable with the whole scenario if it was like, hey, you can use your Visa or MasterCard, because then I have a way to track. Like if it isn't true, and I can't get the product, but at least I can go to someone that would be on my behalf to get my money back. And so I feel like with just crypto right now, it makes it feel, and I could be completely wrong, Brooks, but it makes it feel everything doesn't check out quite yet for me.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people feel that way, and the reason they have to do crypto is to stay out of lawsuit with Future Motion, which again is another like kind of
Sketchy.
potentially. So, yeah, so time will tell, and I hope we get one that's to review and try out. I think the only one out there that's been ridden, the video they've been. If you go to Float Wheels YouTube, I think they got some videos out. The one that the guy is riding is, I'm pretty sure it's mostly 3D printed parts. It's a complete prototype.
Yes.
So I know they created one years ago or something, and it was legit. People bought it with crypto, and it was a OneWheel essentially. And so it's really interesting. I mean, it's cool to see the sport progressing, other eyes catching on, wanting to create. But that's about all I see of it right now.
Yeah,
time will tell.
If all these things just make us end up with a better product faster, I like that. I think competition breeds progress, healthy progress usually. So I'm all for competition. I don't think there needs to be a monopoly.
Mountain bike brands, right? You know, there's a ton of different mountain brands, and so the way I see it is, the more one-wheel brands there are, the more options there are. The better it should progress our sport and what we love.
Yes. Yeah, and we're going to get the things we want. You were talking about, like, one of the cool things with Veske is that you can take and make the front foot pad essentially one big foot pad. Now, have you thought about, or did you put in your GT I'm forgetting from Badger Wheel, the sensor?
Sure Start.
Sure Start.
The
Have you?
Start?
Yeah.
I don't have a Sure Start. I've been really fortunate somehow. And I don't know if it's something I do in my riding, when the board takes air, if I keep that pad engaged. I don't know what it is, but I've really never had issues with failed sensors on landings. Even on my GT, it's been pretty lucky with me. Now, I do know a couple guys that have it, and everyone that has it is in love with it. They say it's like the best thing ever. They don't have to worry about it. They can program it to shut off 6 seconds after they're off, 2 seconds, whatever they kind of want. It's a very easy install too. So everything that Robert and Badger Wheel makes, it's the same guy that makes the waterproofing kit, the Soccasin, Sure Start. It's really well designed, thought out. He's a great mind when it comes to that stuff. So definitely a reliable product, and something I'm probably going to get it someday.
Yeah, I would like to put that in the GT. It might be the way I ride, even in trails. I will constantly it'll deactivate on me if I drop off even a foot. It just and then I nosedive, and then I fall off the board. So, like, I think that's what initially got me hurt in the warm-ups in Windman. I went down the 3-mile trail, and I hit some rocky section, and it just deactivated. And I fell forward, and the one wheel just crashed into my ankle. I think it would have stayed engaged, and I wouldn't have had that issue had I had that. So I want that. I think, like you said, it's an easy install, and to be able to program it however I would like. Austin Silver is the one that turned me onto those. I thought, if it's good for him, it should be good for everyone.
Yeah, him and Luke Austin. If you know who Luke Austin is in Michigan, he is insane. He's clearing tabletops, and he rides with those the Overlanders, the kind of hooks on the front pads.
Yeah,
and
wow.
he at the Windman Enduro, and he's insane.
Yes, he can ride well. Those and Mercedes and Austin both had only the back one of those Overlanders that lock you in. I still like the ones I saw of you in there. It's in the GT has them on that video we showed earlier that you had that lock your feet in, the Control Freaks, I think they're called.
Yep. Yeah, that's my buddy out in Colorado. He basically makes the pad that helps those attach. Otherwise, those hooks are just on the market. They're sold by I think that's an electric skateboard company called Dragon Boards. They're called Dragon Hooks, I believe. But there's a couple ways you can attach them to your board. I haven't really messed around with it too much, other than the pairs that Riley have sent me, because I know they're proven. I have the sets on John's board right now. He's been liking them, and they're good for the GT, so we've been swapping back and forth.
Yeah, those are the ones that I like the most out of any of those things that would lock your feet in. The Overlanders are just a little big for my take, but I'm not sending it like the Silvas or Luke, and so it's okay. It is okay. Someday I'll graduate.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. Yes.
Or maybe not.
Brooks, thank you for taking time and hanging with us and talking about all things One Wheel. Thanks for inspiring the community to ride in the snow. How can they find you on your socials and stuff? Because you need to go give them a follow on all things. So how can they keep up with you, Brooks?
Yeah, first off, thanks for having me anytime. I'm looking forward to riding with you guys more in the coming year, and hopefully we get you on some Duluth trails soon. If you want to follow me on socials, I pretty much only operate on Instagram as far as OneWheels are concerned. So my tag is North Shore OneWheel. North Shore of Duluth, Minnesota is why I kind of picked that. I ride the trails in northern Minnesota. And then Carve Creative is our YouTube channel. We put out a bunch of content on that. So that's the main bread and butter for like good video content. I do a lot of the filming. A lot of the guys are great at filming and recording and editing essentially. So that's like the good spot to find good content. But if you just want, to check out all my kind of sends and what I'm doing, where I'm riding, it's all on Instagram for the most part.
And occasionally when he goes to vacation in Mexico.
What?
Ended up in Mexico.
No, I was going to say I actually really enjoy your posting because you get some of the fam, you get some of what you're doing on the One Wheel.
Yeah, like when you caught your wife with the little mini drone in the living room or something like that.
Yeah.
That was cute.
That's our little helicopter from Target. Those things are a blast.
It was cute that you caught her playing with it. I was like, that's adorable.
I was sitting upstairs working in my office, and I stepped out of my door. I'm like, what's that little humming noise? And I walked downstairs and my toys.
Yeah, that's all right.
Have you gotten her on the One Wheel lately?
Yeah, she'll hop on the One Wheel.
Yeah.
She doesn't like to do trails or anything, but if we're walking the dog or whatnot, she'll hop on.
That's fun.
I knew I liked her when I got to meet her.
Yeah. No, I think Brooks.
Pavement riders.
In the new year or before the new year, actually it'll be the new year because Lily is traveling next week. We're gonna come up and we're just waiting for you to say, hey, the trail's gonna be awesome tomorrow, and we'll adjust and we'll come and we'll film and make some great content up there. And then I think we're gonna try to do.
Jump.
What's that?
And hit the jump.
Yeah, and hit the jump with my fist. Yes,
that's why I'm gonna be there.
And the other thing is we need to do Wisconsin versus Minnesota, Viking
race.
Packers race. I
With
think.
the whole Carve Creative team.
Yeah.
We can do a race because you're already smoked in football.
Smoked? Yeah, Brooks is a Packer fan. This is where we're gonna log off. Just kidding.
I almost didn't show up after I saw some Viking gear there. I got a little football helmet I'd bring you, Scott. It's Packer though. You can spin it around on your table.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
That would be. Well, you can give it to me, and I will put it on here. I can't say it'll look the way you gave it to me, but I'll put a Packers helmet on my desk.
I'll put it upside down with
No,
the
you
Grinch
won't.
sitting on it.
Yeah, have you seen the Grinch? That'd be funny. Actually, there's a company that's making the Grinch that's taking a crap in the rival's football helmet.
That's hilarious.
So great.
We should get that.
Yeah, he's not laughing. There is a chance for the Packers to make it into the playoffs still. If you
Never
win out,
count them out. Never count them
if
out.
you win out, Brooks, you guys could be in the playoffs, which is baffling. But you could do it.
Yeah. I'm thinking you guys are probably going to snatch up Rodgers this season like you did Favre, huh? When he leaves.
I hope not.
I don't know. Look out for Cousins.
I don't know. I don't. I would be very I get the joke, but there is a seriousness to it as well. But I just don't think we do. I don't think with this one. I don't think we're in for that one.
I've learned about Minnesota though that they love their QBs, no matter who it is.
For the most part. What were you saying about Jefferson?
Yeah. He needs a new passer. Needs someone that can throw that ball a little deeper.
I don't know.
You can't mess
Them are
with
fighting words, Brooks.
with the game that Cousin had in the second half. Greatest comeback in the NFL history.
I'm saying it. MVP of the league.
No, no one's going to give him that.
I
You are
don't,
crazy.
I don't think so either.
They never will.
Maybe Justin Jefferson. He's done really well.
He
Do
has.
they give MVP of the league to anyone other than quarterbacks?
It would be sometimes, but
Sometimes.
not normally. Okay, Brooks, have a very Merry Christmas, Brooks. It was an honor to hang with you. Can't wait to ride with you in Duluth.
Merry Christmas.
Enjoy the weather in Wisconsin. Bye, Brooks.
Yep.
That was Brooks, everybody. I hope
He's
you enjoyed
awesome.
it. Good man. Good
He is.
human being right there.
He is a good human being.
What a man, what a man, what a
And
man. What
he
a mighty
can
good
he can
man.
ride.
Thank you, Lily, for
Yes,
would you like to
thanks.
sing anything else? It's not complete of a podcast if you don't sing.
Merry Christmas.
That's what we're singing is Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
Is that-
and happy holiday. Harmonize with me. Holly.
What? I
She
don't-
said harmonize with me.
Oh.
Merry Christmas.
I don't know how to
No.
harmonize.
I don't sing. I just ride OneWheels and get
Trophies.
what do you call it?
Bling.
What is
No.
it?
Hardware?
Hardware.
What is that?
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody.
My sleeve got caught in my thing.
We won't see you until after Christmas, so we just hope that you have a great Christmas, that you're safe out there, that you get time with your family, all those great things. We will take a week off. Lily and Holly are jacking around in the chat or
I'm
something.
not doing a thing.
Why
I
are
just
you laughing, though?
She's
losing
over.
it.
She's losing it.
Every time in the podcast, this time.
I'm
point.
just simply talking to the people in the chat.
What did you say?
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
In what?
It's not nighttime. No, I watched my sleeve play
Oh,
back and
when you caught it.
Oh.
and then someone said I was sketchy.
You are.
Wow, she's sketchy.
She is. There's something about her that.
Eli has invited us out to
Eli's
Alaska. They
new.
have
Alaska.
30 inches of snow. Is that what he said?
Eli's new, so he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
He has
Wait.
30 inches of
Wait,
snow.
he's inviting us, like you say, out to Alaska. Like that's just like, hey, let's hop in the car and go.
Well, he's
he
just
said-
saying if we ever make our way out to Alaska,
Oh, it's on
he's
the
got a
list.
couple GTs to loan.
It's on the list. I want to come up to Alaska. I want to run a marathon in Alaska. I think that'd be cool.
Kip's there.
See Kip.
Yeah, I want to see Kip.
Kip.
I want to meet Kip.
Kip seems like a rock star
He
and a
does.
legend.
He lives in a town with one road, one stop sign.
One stop sign.
But they have Starlink and OneWheels, so we should go.
Starlink, like,
Starlink, like the Wi-Fi. Yeah, he said that to us
yeah,
today.
that's great.
Anyway,
we
yeah.
have some friends that are here in a part of what we do for a job that are from Alaska, and they're great people, wonderful people.
They are good people.
Amazing.
Okay, we are gonna sign off here. I wish we could give you a tour of our studio, as on this side of an inside part of the wall, it has frost on it. That's how cold it is, and how
Nice and sparkly. It's
yeah,
so
it's
pretty.
sparkling. It is something to behold, everyone. Like I said before, Merry Christmas to everybody. Can't wait to hear how all your Christmases went. We will be back the first Wednesday in the new year. That's where you'll see us, and we'll catch up with how everybody's Christmas was. We have some really cool interviewees, people to interview in the new year that are already lined up. Some are going to be really surprising to you, and it's going to be our honor to bring them an interview with them in the new year. So we're pretty stoked about those things. Everybody be safe out there, especially if you're in Minnesota. Stay safe in the blizzard over the next couple of days. Love all of you. Merry
Bye,
Christmas.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Merry